Hi everybody, today we'll talk about two Chinese tanks available for a limited time and the reintroduction of a tank and an aircraft for GE for the I-tier Chinese tech tree. The first tank that we'll take a look is the Type 69-2A. The Type 69-2A isn't a great vehicle. It has very little armor, even when fully down-tiered. Some tanks won't have problems panning it, like the M47 Patent 2 in the American tech tree. Won't have much problem panning you with the higher tier shots, as you can see. And if you shoot here right of the chick, you basically kill the gunner and the commander, and the tank it's basically disabled. Instead, if we go for the base shot, you see you can still do some damage up close. And this is if you are fully down tiered with this tank. And otherwise, if you are at your own BR, the shots from your tanks at the same BR will pass through you like it's butter. Otherwise, then as ammunitions, you have the hit FS type 1973. That's very good. You won't have any problem panning you, so basically you're a glass cannon. Nothing will have problems panning you, but vice versa, you will never have problem to panning the enemies. The tank itself on the inside, as you can see, doesn't have any spaced or composite armor, and you have here the driver, gunner, commander, and loader. You remember that you have the first stage armor rack in here with 19 pieces, and then you, after 19 pieces, you start to stack ammunition here on the turret. Instead, we move to the second tank, the T-62 number 545. This tank again isn't the best. Again, it lacks basically any armor. Again, as you can see, it doesn't have any spaced or any composite armor. You again have the pilot, the gunner, the commander, and the loader. And again, the same as the previous tank. No tank, even with fully down tier, will have any problems panning you with the top round. And all of the tanks at your same BR, they will pass through like butter. Here you have again basically the same shots. You start with having the APFSDS. Keep in mind that these APFSDS aren't the greatest. They have quite low penetration and they don't create a lot of spalling. And after that you have some HitFS with some very good penetration. Keep in mind that at 8.7, when you get up tiered, you start finding tanks with some serious armor, and your APFSDS won't cut it. Then the last tank that we'll take a look today, it's the ZTZ96A. This one was recently reintroduced for GE. It was taken off from the market, from the tech tree, and now it's getting reintroduced. This tank has some serious armor. Tanks at its same BR might struggle even with the top shell. You need to be worried mainly only about stuff like wheeled vehicles with very powerful rounds. You need mainly to worry about wheeled vehicles with very powerful rounds, like the Centauros in the Italian tech tree that can shoot the M33. And as many Soviet-inspired vehicles, you have a very big weak spot down here. When shooting here, you will take out the driver, the loading mechanism, and the ammunition storage. If instead it's a hold down, you need to shoot around the around the gun so that you can take out the gun assembly. If instead you find yourself a little bit up-tiered, you start finding MBTs with more powerful rounds, like the Leopard 2A7, that with the M23 can still one-shot your tank down here, but still have some problems. It has a little bit more of a problem panning the gun assembly. This tank itself is very good, also because it has these jammers. These are jammers for electro-optical guided missiles, like the early TOW missiles. So if you find an early tank destroyer or an early helicopter, this might protect you. The last vehicle that we'll take a look today, it's the A-5C that you can find at rank 6. It's a Pakistani aircraft, and here this vehicle was super good till a little bit ago. It's one of those aircraft that really suffered with the division between air, ground, and naval combat. Because on ground battles you will find the aircraft at 10.0, but on air realistic battles you will find it at 10.7. The problem with flying at 10.7, that your missiles, so the Magic One, it's good, but not as good as it once was, and you find yourself in the territory of the missile all aspect slinging attackers, and also in the territory of the first Phantoms and all of the aircraft with semi-active radar homing missiles, something that you absolutely don't have. Here you can see the armor. It has some very basic armor scheme. And as you can see here, it lacks radar, so obviously you don't have any radar homing missiles. And you have, as weaponry, you only have these two 23mm cannons with 120 ammunition each. So the guns, somebody swears by it. I found it a little bit difficult to aim, and you have very few rounds to use. As I said, the best thing about this aircraft was the Magic One missiles, that now at DBR they define that it's good but not the best. And the aircraft itself doesn't have a lot of air-to-ground capabilities. It has a few damn bombs, some 750 libras bomb, and some napalm bombs, and some rockets. The rockets aren't that bad, they are quite good, but you need a little bit more, you need to be a little bit closer to the enemies compared to aircraft with guided ammunitions. However, even if you don't have a radar, the pilot, as you can see, has CCIPs for both cannons, rockets, and bombs. Okay, so with this, I showed you all of the available premiums that have been recently reintroduced. In my opinion, the only one that in the ground tech tree is really worth to get is the ZTZ96A, that in my opinion it's a very good tank. And the only worth of these two tanks is for collectors. If you really want to have some unique, a little bit more unique vehicles, a little bit more obscure vehicles that you might not find often in the battle, these might be two options. While in the aircraft section, this one obviously, if you want an aircraft that might help you researching the aircraft tech tree, This one might be okay. Again, it's not the best. It's not as good as it once was, but it's not half bad. In my opinion, this one might be a better option to research the tech tree than the J7D, and they find itself at the same BR in AR realistic battles, both at 10.7. Keep in mind that the JF-17, it's a very good aircraft. However, it's not a premium. It's a squadron vehicle. So if you buy it, you won't have the possibility of researching the whole tech tree with it. So in my opinion, at the moment, one of the best aircraft to use to research the Chinese tech tree, it's the A-5C, even if it's not as good as it once was, as I said. Anyway, I hope that you like the video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe.